downgrading to upgrade. Opening with the quote from Joshua Becker, which is minimalism isn't about removing things you love, but about removing the things that distract you from the things you love. One of the most important things to do in life is do the math. When we're able to take the time to understand the equation, it can really help us make those choices. What's important to you? And you'll know this by where you invest your time and your energy, your time and your money, and that will reveal your limitation. Like, just ask yourself, what do you regularly complain about? What is the thing that you keep complaining? I can't do this and I can't do that. What are those things? And what are the reasons that you can't do those things? And that will really reveal where the limitations are. When we show up and prepare, what we end up doing by doing the math, right? By understanding, even if there's nothing we could do about the situation we're in, just understanding will already help create the momentum and clarity we need to be able to make that difference. So showing up and preparing builds muscle. Trust that the outcome has nothing to do with luck. It's not like you get lucky. It's more about accountability. And a great analogy of this is, I shared this week, like a quote, my own little rant, where I said, eat real food. We try to get creative and intellectual when it comes to performance. Simplicity is key. It's the secret, and the secret is in nature. Protein powder, green powder, berry powder are great, but real food is better. I don't give myself a choice with eating food. I eat healthy. I keep freedom of choice for other things. Now, when we understand that freedom is selective, right? You can pick and choose where you have those freedoms. When we create kind of a restriction around certain things, right? And if you think of downgrading, when we think of the concept of downgrading, when it comes to like even the concept of poverty, minimalistic, or even a modest way of living, a lot of those things, what they have in common is it's more restrictive. That's why people don't like going there, because they'll say, oh, it's restrictive. But what that does is when we kind of have more of a modest experience or restrictive experience, right? Where we eliminate the concept of choice from certain areas, what it does is it gives us the opportunity to put freedom of choice in other areas. So for me personally, perfecting the state of mind is really important because everything else will follow suit. So when we are developing and optimizing our life, we have to think about what are the things that we eliminate, what are the things we delegate, right? And it's so important, and because a lot of times we struggle with these concept of automating things, delegating things, and eliminating things. And what ends up happening is we end up doing the things we hate doing instead of really creating room for the things we really love to do. And a lot of people will say, yeah, but that's impossible. Well, if you think about it this way, when it comes to finances, if you save $200, technically you're saving $4. And I'll explain you how. Because if you don't spend the $200, you also don't have to spend the time making the 200. So it balances out on both sides. And this is kind of where we have to understand that when we put our energy in a place where there's quality over quantity, we get a whole experience out of it, where it's not about how much we can take, right? It's not about this, it's not about how much, right? So I say, in interior designer, I shared that, like, quantity is, there's something very exciting about quantity, but when it comes to quality of living, it's so much more fulfilling. And that is kind of the punchline, that what we really want when we look for an upgrade is that sense of fulfillment. So as you move into the rest of this week, I want you to take some time to ask yourself, where are you able to create sort of more of a modest space, somewhere where, like, even an area in your life where you feel might be really stressful, if it's insecure thoughts, a lot of critique around it, what happens if you remove the negativity, right? So when you remove the negativity, there is room for opportunity. And for a lot of us, if we go into that victim mode when there is a challenge, that energy consumes us, rather than having the opportunity to turn that into a clear understanding that something has to shift, right? Now, as soon as we realize that something has to shift, the first thing we want to do is jump in and reorganize the entire thing, right? And so an example of this would be if you move into a new house and you want to buy containers or for certain closets. My recommendation is always wait before you buy anything. Wait to see how you move in the space. Wait to see how you move in the space, because that's something a lot of us don't consider. We don't consider how we operate in the space. We say, oh, there's a problem, let's change the problem. So there's two steps, like an inhale and an exhale. The downgrade to the upgrade. The exhale, the release. The release and the deep understanding that something's not working for us is one part of it. But we can't be a creator and a critic at the same time. So we gotta release first before we go into our next flow of creativity or building. So just notice also where you are in that space. If you're deep in that work, a lot of times there's a lot of releasing happening. Wait until you've released to be able to upgrade. Because once you inhale, right, once you exhale, there will be room naturally for that full inhale. And what happens is it comes naturally, right? You exhale completely, the thing you crave next is to inhale completely, right? There's some kind of alive connection in there. So if you notice that you are in a space where you are releasing, just take some time to take care of yourself. Do the self-care. Notice the vibration, notice your focus, and conserve the energy to release. And then when you're ready, you can inhale and you can upgrade. And the upgrade will be that you will feel the quality of life on a whole nother level. So thank you so much for joining me here today with this experience. I will take questions now.
Let yourself heal.